Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Anisha Podar and our today's topic is data analytics. And our speaker is Mr. Kshitij Vig. Welcome, sir. I'll just give a brief introduction about sir. Sir has an MBA degree from NMIMS Mumbai and is skilled in sales and marketing, marketing research, digital marketing analytics, and strategy, also consulting, strategy, and operations. He is currently working with Gartner as a business analyst and to support CXOs from popular companies to make better and informed decisions. Just a little bit of housekeeping before getting started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them in the chat box, and we can discuss them later in the later part of the presentation. And also, I would request everyone to keep their mics mute so that we can run the webinar smoothly. Now, with further ado, we will start with the webinar. I would request Mr. Kshitij to take over and guide the students.
Thank you, Anisha. Thank you so much. And first of all, thanks to the team for organizing this session. It's a great pleasure to be here to guide all of you. So just to get a feeler of the room, if you want to, I want to keep it very interactive and want to keep this session as informative as possible. Just want to get a feeler of this room, how the demographic is. So I believe most of us are from BTech or undergrad level who are looking to find new skills, right? Anyone can speak up, right? I'm just wanted to get understand what kind of expectation that you all have. Like my expectation out of this session is if I can give one skill or can teach you what to do to get a better job interview or to score a good job sort of a thing. So that's something that I want to do it, and I want to just share my experience. I believe I'll share my screen if Anisha, if you can make me the host and I can share my screen.
Yes, sir.
And please let me know if my like the flow of the presentation is slow. If it is fast, just let me know. If you want to keep it at a slower pace, want to keep it at a higher pace, just please do let me know. All right, I'll be sharing my screen. Great. I hope you are able to see.
Yes, it's visible.
Great. So about the speaker has already been covered. I wanted to cover a little bit about myself. I have a background of MBA. In 2019, I passed out from NMIMS Mumbai, then joined Gartner, doing little bit of data and analytics, but a lot of business strategy. Why I've chose this topic is because data analytics is so close to what your daily use case is. And this is one of the skill that is going to have a huge potential in the market. This is one sphere that you can say is actually available in all the domains, be it commerce, science, MBA, your pharma, FMCG, anything you talk about, chemical industries, data and analytics has taken it over. I also have a 2 year of experience in digital marketing. I was doing my bit before my my MBA, post my BTech with Sapient. So I'll be sharing one of the live use cases that I did with that company 5 years ago, and it's still there. That's the power of data analytics. Once you build that model, it's going to be there. Then I'll be talking about use cases, technical understanding. How do you go step by step to make data modeling, right? And the last bit is the interview preparation. I just want to, from this session, I want to give, just if I can encourage one of you out of the participant to pursue this line of business and build a use case that I build, which I am super proud of. If you can build it out, I'll be tremendously happy. I have a good understanding of data, your R, Python, etc. Then I also have a good understanding of consultancy background, given that I work closely with CXOs. Just to give you a brief, I used to work with supply chain clients. Now I'm working with high-tech clients, your Microsoft, Google, Oracle of the world. Without further ado, let's just get into the business part. This is like very rough. What do you mean by data? I know everyone knows, but I just want to figure it out, like how much do you understand about data, right? And what is the important point? The data is just the raw figure. It's everywhere. You can collect it from no matter what. You can stand on the road, you can just calculate which brand of car is passing through. You can then get to know, okay, most number of cars that are visible on the traffic are either of this color or either of this brand. So that knowledge of data is information. Why is that important? That is important because people like me are there to give advice to people like your Marutis or your Mahindras that this is what is trending. It is possible to get the data on their own, but they are not going to provide it. So how do you collect this data? Data is very sensitive to everyone. We recently saw a case where Zomato's data was leaked. So you just fill in anyone's mobile number and you'll get their history, like order history, their phone number, their email address, their house address. If you want to stalk your crush, just go to, you can Google Domino's database leak, and you'll get to know what's your crush home addresses. I'll recommend not to do it, but that's the power of data that you have. Thing like that, it actually made a huge fall in their stock market, and data currently is being monetized. It's the next oil. So what is analytics? Analytics is basically how you are working with data, how you're working with this information, and then you are making an actionable insights. As simple as you see a demographic divide between male and female, and then you see how many female are driving which kind of car or which kind of color of car, what make of car. Then you can see like a height versus the make of car, things like that. Once you have that information, you are able to target it. But I want to tell you from here is, I just want to tell you data and analytics from business standpoint. I would tell you so many use cases that you can use it during your interviews. If you're going to prepare for MBAs, if you are going to prepare for any job, they will ask you, why are you applying for this particular role? So you can tell them, sir, I understand data. Data is nothing, it's a raw figure. How do you adapt that data and give me actionable insights? That's where I came in. That's something that interviewer would love to know, right? But data analytics alone does not have anything valuable. What actually makes sense is, how do you tie up with business strategy? Business strategy is basically an outline of actions. It could be something like new variants of chips, something like, rather than 1 liter of Coke, we'll have 1.25 liter of Coke. Why is that happening? What's the end goal? End goal of any business is to earn money. But how do they do that? Or what kind of research or what kind of background that goes into it to do that? Apple launches their phone every year. There is some sort of understanding why do they do it. But this is like a very nominal sort of data collection where you actually ask your consumer about it and then you get a response for it. That's a very different data analytics set. But what I will focus upon today are little bit about how new products or new business are being launched. That is the sole base of that product is the data and analytics. New demography, how do you go to one uh, point of world to another point of world? I can tell you n number of examples. One of the examples could be Kellogg's. Kellogg's, when was introduced to India, it failed miserably, very miserably. But currently, it is leading in breakfast business. Why? What happened? What happened was they did not understand the consumers. They did not have any understanding. They did not have any data point of consumers. For example, data points such as what kind of meals do Indian consume? Like, we do not consume our dinner at 5 p.m., whereas a lot of US actually have their meal before 6. We generally have like a seasonality over here. So your hot milk versus cold milk, these kind of things. There are so many examples where businesses have actually failed because they did not understand customer. They did not understand the data point associated to the customers. So in order to improve that, you need to have all the data points collected to your business ends. I can tell you in one of the example of Pidilite, a homegrown brand. Pidilite is a parent company of Fevicol. We know Fevicol, I don't know, like we do not go and ask, shopkeeper that, give me adhesive. Never ever. I've never heard this word adhesive being used by a general customer. Every time you go there, bhaiya, Fevicol, right? Every time you go to any place, it's like it's a synonym to the product. The brand has become synonym to the product. So that's how your branding is important. And how were they able to do it? They were able to do it because they reached out to the certain public very, very smartly. I'll tell you the reason why. They actually divided, like that is analytics here, nothing to do with data, just analytics. How do you club your end users? How do you do cluster analysis? What Pidilite did is phenomenal. They did cluster analysis. They identified what kind of demographic or use is there by the customers, so that they can target them. Big cities, they have divided into 3-4 categories: big cities, small cities, rurbans. That was the first time it was introduced, urban plus rural. Urban region, then your rural region. How they did was they identified at the higher end, your all these metropolitan cities, Delhi, Mumbai, you yourself do not go and buy it. You ask your carpenter to get it for you. Whereas the buying pattern for other public is different. So what they did is they clustered it, and using those clusters they defined their business strategies. They actually told, how do you focus on it, how do you make posters. A simple fact that Jude Rao campaign, it was typically for small tier, if you see, they are for small tier advertisement, because they were focused upon people getting into one single truck. If you remember this ad, a lot of people are on the truck, and then at the back of the truck it was written Fevicol. What was that? It was basically telling these people who were actually themselves becoming carpenters that this is the brand that you need to stick to. Whereas whenever you talk about the urban cities, metropolitan, they had a very different ad campaign. They were talking about reuse stuff. So use Fevikwik, do not sell it off to your kabadiwala, reuse it, that kind of things. How do you improve your operations? Where is the demand? Let's say your eclairs is actually prevalent in a lot of region which are which do not have small currencies, so they exchange it with this. And things like, do you want to keep it at a general store, at a panwadi, at how do you do that? How much is the selling point? How do you define according to the seasonality? Because a lot of these products during the festival seasons, it actually makes a lot of difference. Keeping record of this data and improving your operations is very important. I'll just stop here and take up your any questions, because I am trying to figure it out how much is your data versus how much is the business strategy I'm able to link. Any questions, you can unmute yourself, write it on chat. I'll just take a quick 10-15 second of pause, and you can just write down your questions. All right. I'll move on to the next bit. I hope that business strategy and data analytics is clear. I'll just quickly go to the next slide. So this is use cases. I have been talking about a lot of use cases, which I am not listed here, but these are like my favorite ones. I'll tell you about it, and then I'll show you one of my use case that I did for one of the very popular brands. Cred app. Cred, is one of those apps which is like growing at tremendous rate. 6 million customers, 2.2 billion valuation. Hats off to these guys. They just took what they did is this. They introduced a premium question where they said that, your credit score, how much you take the loan, how much you are able to, give it back. Do you have bad credit? What is your score? Whenever you are using a credit card, are you using it efficiently? These kind of things that they did. And they give reward. You can see their advertisement with Rahul Dravid and other players. It's like phenomenal, like what creativity that they have. What are they doing? What's the business model? Very simple. They're just trying to identify user spending pattern. So basically what I have given over here is the customer, the base of customers, then the valuation, and the key USP. What is their unique selling point, or what is their business strategy? What they are trying to do is they are trying to understand users spending pattern. I spend a lot maybe on stuff like petrol, maybe on stuff like let's say shopping for clothing. I use a lot of electronics online shopping, or maybe I do not use it at all at electronics. I do not spend one penny on e-commerce. I spend everything at restaurants and other places. Now you know the customer. Now you have built a personalized identity of the customers. How you are doing it? Just by understanding the user pattern. So what credit does is it takes your credit card statement, it analyzes and bifurcates it into different patterns. For example, restaurants, clothing, petrol, etc., etc., etc. And now why are they doing it? And then they're giving cash back. They're giving so many rewards. Why are they doing it? And they are not charging single penny, not even 1 penny of doing all these kind of things, but they are taking your valuable data with them. Now understand, they have their data with you. I am a customer who do not spend anything on e-commerce. This data is given to Google. This data is given to Amazon. Amazon now knows this particular person would never ever spend on online. I do not need to spend my money to target him. That's the biggest bonus that Amazon can save. You know how much Amazon has actually spent last year? It's close to 200 million. 200 million. That's like if you compare like their like base, that's just 310 millions. Like they are spending so much. They are one of the best companies who are actually spending so much money. Any questions? Someone raised their hand. Anything that you would like to share? Okay, I'll just be moving ahead. So now, but they
I
did. Yeah.
guess, sorry to interrupt. I guess Anmol Ratan and Mohammed Kaish has raised their hands. So,
Any question, guys, so far?
Anmol, you can
Yes,
unmute. Go
freelancers,
ahead.
right. I'll be getting to freelancer. I just wanted
भैया
to tell you. Yeah. Please go on.
जो क्रेड कंपनी है तो ये मेरा डाटा होगी.
I don't know. Can anyone hear him? It's like his voice is not audible to me.
Anmol, your voice is breaking. You can probably chat your
Yes.
write your question in the chat.
Hello.
Also, so there's a question from Akarshak Pandey in
Yes,
the chat.
about freelancers, right? I'll talk about it. Yep. Okay, I'll just continue and finish my story quickly. So, like, Cred now knows me. He will understand if I am going to spend a lot of my money on restaurants. He will give me deals on restaurants, right? That's the power of data that you have. Okay. I'll just move on. I'll finish this 3 bits and then go to freelancer bit because I want to tell you the power of data and how you can use it. Freelancer bit also I'll speak about. Netflix is also doing the same, but they are doing it. They are commissioning the original program content. They are purchasing the right of content, and how they are doing is they want to know if they are going to work well with the certain audience. How do they know it? How do they know what program to purchase so that it will perform well? It's like phenomenal how they do it. They track every bit of you. If on Netflix you just click on any of the links, it will pop up. It will tell you what kind of video it is, and depending upon that, it will actually recommend your other the buying team. You know, this is like Friends sort of episodes are actually been selling. You need to show more of action to this kind of users. So whenever you go there, there is a carousel call recommended for you. How do they do it? 90% matching, 90% recommended, 95% recommended. Because they are doing so much big data analysis, so much machine learning, they are understanding the content and then breaking it down into little bit of pieces. They do a lot of visual analytics where they actually read people's expression and see when are they getting bored, what are the touch point. In Stranger Things, they actually read facial expression and collected data points to understand these are the things that is working, these are the things that are not working. That's the power. I'll take up the question. क्रेड मेरा डेटा ई कॉमर्स कंपनी को बेच के पैसा भी कमा रहा होगा. बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, एग्जैक्टली दे आर डूइंग इट. दे आर लाइक देयर होल बिजनेस मॉडल इज दिस. Trust me, Cred, but they are not telling, it is being given from, let's say, from Kshitij. This is the Kshitij data point. No, it's all encrypted. They have a key against my name. It's all encrypted. They will just tell them between the age of 25 to 35, between the age of 18 to 15, this is how your buying pattern of these users are. Now, between 18 to 25 in Delhi, in Mumbai, in Indore, in different cities, what kind of buying pattern users have. Now go to Facebook, run your app on Facebook. Okay, I am Apple or I am Samsung, I am Oppo, I am someone who wants to understand. I'll just take up the freelancing bit. For example, you are freelancing for Oppo. Oppo asks you, dude, what kind of offers do we run on different e-commerce website or on the physical stores. As a freelancer, I'll tell Oppo, listen, go to Cred. Cred app has all the information about every users. They have each information about each company like HDFC, SBI. Just ask them, Oppo के जो phone है, वो कौन से credit card से सबसे ज़्यादा खरीदे जाते हैं? Which credit card is used to buy the Oppo phone? Now you know this credit card is being used maximum to buy Oppo phone. That's it. As a freelancer, you now know that your offer should run on these credit cards or should not be run on these credit cards, right? Because you have that base. Now you know your closest competitors. Let's say Oppo's closest competitors, Vivo, even though the parent company is same, but I'm just giving you an example. Xiaomi. Now you get to know Xiaomi's user base, how they are purchasing. Now you know Xiaomi ke, the competitor that you have is being used at this rate. Like they are maximum buying from Amazon, or they are maximum buying from a retail shop, and they are buying from this card. Now you know that maximum purchases are done by this thing. So I'll tell you one example. Like HDFC always have offer on Apple iPhone, 5,000 cashback, 3,000 cashback, right? Samsung would like to know also, like, how do we have that user base? Now as a freelancer, you will be asked to do these kind of research. That's how you come in. A lot of freelancing actually happens at a very minimum base. You would not get opportunity to work with these teams because these teams like Lava or your Samsung would have their own data analytics team. But at a pace where where actually a little bit small companies like Ferns and Petals, they are into bouquets and cakes and all. They would love to know about their audience. A lot of this would happen through a lot of research. You can survey a lot of customers, you will have all the responses, then you can go about it. You can ask questions like, what kind of cake flavor do you like, what kind of flowers do you love to give, things like that. When you have that data points, you will be easily be able to identify what customer to target on Facebook, on SEO, on SCM. So these are the kind of stuff that you can do, but I would more like to tell you what kind of interview answers that you can give, right? So once interviewer asks you, what kind of data and analytics could be used on business cases, you have all these business cases. They will tell you, I just need to broaden your perspective about how to use data analytics. Like they will give you example of very simple as quality balls. What should quality balls do with their data and analytics to increase their sales? You should be knowledgeable enough to answer these kind of questions, where you will easily say, based on seasonality, what kind of products is sold most. Based on that data point, I'll be able to tell you when to introduce new products or when to retire certain products, right? That's the powerful things that you can do. Someone else also raised their hand. Please write down your question on chat. I'll love to answer them, or maybe you can speak up.
Yeah, I want to say that I have a question. If Cred share our encrypted data, what's the benefit of our Cred? Because the Cred is not decrypted our data. What the use of its encrypted data?
Right.
No use of encrypted data.
Encryption data, understand. Encryption data works very differently. Your encryption data of WhatsApp chat is different. Your encryption data of something else is different. What do I mean by encrypted data is, I'll tell you example. Just I told you, Domino's, you just write your phone number and you will get everything. That's not encryption. Although they have saved it at a secure location, but that location opened up. But have they had a certain key where your, let's say, your name is masked? Do you understand masking? Masking is basically changing your name. My name is Kshitij. They will just reverse my name. It will be like, instead of KSHITIJ, they will do GITIHSK. Like they will reverse my name. That's the sort of encryption. I'm just speaking at a very layman terms. Although they would be encrypting it in a level which would not be like easily be decrypted. What they will tell you, or what they will tell companies like Amazon or other companies like HDFC banks, is between the age of this and this is how their buying pattern is. They will not sell a single person's data. They will not tell you, someone like XYZ made a purchase at this store. No, that's the encryption that they'll do. They will themselves do some kind of analytics and sell it off, or rather not, they will keep that data to themselves and give you offers and things related to that only. That's how they will do it. Abhi tak Cred has not sold single data. Abhi tak, but they are doing it till now. They are just collecting data. They haven't sold it, but that's the plan that they are going to do. I'm pretty sure that that's the future of it. That's why it has so much high valuation. How to learn resources? Okay, so sources of this thing, right? This is a great question. So during our MBA time, we did a lot of these things. My 2 year, every day we need to go through 4 business case every day. So if I had one lecture during a day, it would like, yeah, if you are doing MBA, you will know it's all about business case. You need to do your pre-reads. I know that pre-reads we generally avoid. That's something that you definitely need to do. But other sources are there. There are Harvard Business Review. So there are, like in your case, you can go through Kotler. Kotler has all these cases, right? So that's all, everything that they can do. Yeah, definitely it would be named as data leak. Definitely it will be. But that's their whole business case. Like that's their strategy. The business strategy is based on data analytics. Amazon, they are getting into cloud. They are getting into AWS. What is that? That's all. How do you store the data? How did they get into something like selling something and retailing and getting to that thing? Why? Because they are there to do all this kind of stuff, because they have data point. They have so much data point. Amazon, like they can quickly run your money. Like they can give run to the money to any company. Netflix, like they came up with Amazon Prime Video. They are going to capture every domain that you can think of is associated with data. They have their UPI IDs. So anything that has to be done with data, Amazon will be there. I'm telling you this thing. But there are certain things like, what are the user buying pattern? How do you optimize your website? Operational efficiencies, product recommendations. These are the kind of things that they are into, and how they are doing it. They are using their data points. So just to enhance the question of how do you get to the business point, so I'll just share one of my I'll share one of the example that I have done. This is Taj website. Taj was one of my clients before my MBA. So after your MBA, you will be working for companies and there would be use cases. So I hope I am able to answer, but you can go through a lot of use cases such as Kotler. There are use case in points. So if you are doing MBA, case in points, please do that. What data analysis can be performed in software for strategic business decision making? Okay, that there is one thing that I can say. I hope I will be able to answer this, that in software, how do you make business cases? This is the great example for this. Okay, I was working with web analytics. If you understand web analytics, Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics, what it does is, for example, I am scrolling here, right? I click on this button. Now what it will happen is it will identify that there was a click on this button, right? And from this page, what next page I am going through. That's the kind of business case that you have. This is what I was talking about, data collection, right? How do you collect data? What data can you collect? I'll tell you one of the example, like Taj brand, known worldwide, right? What they did is they wanted to keep this carousel, offer and promotion, because that's the offer and promotion that would be similar to everyone, right? It would be similar to all the people, and it would be similar to given to everyone who is visiting the site. But they want to also create some personalization, some recommendation engine that they wanted to create. This they will keep on changing. You see it after 6 months, this offer would be changed. Okay, that's the business strategy that they have. What thing I worked on was this popular destination. This will keep on changing depending upon what user base are going through this thing. Okay, so I'll tell you example, like they have 4 over here, then you can see 4 over here. They have total 8 destinations. Other than that, they would have destinations somewhere in US as well. In total, they have close to 200 hotels, right? Or 200, or maybe close to 80 locations. But they are just showing you 8. How do they do that? How do they know these are the popular destinations? Here and where we as a software engineers came in, use data and analytics to tell you over here. Now I'll tell you. We can replicate it at this level also, offer and promotion. Okay, I'll tell you how. Okay, so if I click on this one time, right? If this particular data set came in, give me 1 second. Okay, right. So this is one page view. Okay, just keep on counting. One page view. I am going to 4D order. Now 4D order has one page view, right? and Suit Surprise has 1-page view. Now I click on Suit Surprises. It has now 2-page views. Great. Now, similarly, you have traffic of more than 15 to 20,000 coming on their website every day. You have 15 to 20,000 data points, right, of each individual users. You will get to know how many times this offer was either availed or been viewed. Now, based on your business strategy, you have this offer. It's very simple. On the real time, you can tell them, this is Google data analytics data, which you can easily read. Once you are able to read it, so there's a thing called JSON, right? JSON is nothing. It is Java object which just contains data. Now, based on that data, it will rank based on either number of times the data is availed or ranked in terms of number of times it has been viewed. The way I did is based on number of bookings that you have in popular destination. Right now, currently, for past 1 month, Mumbai had the maximum number of bookings. Hence, it is ranked at number 1. What I did is I'll go through my presentation and then I'll tell you what kind of step-by-step guide I took up. First, I collected data, number of time page was used, number of time offer was availed. Now I have this. Now, next thing that I would like to do is hypothesize. How do you do that? You try to understand what are you going to predict or what are you going to optimize, right? What I wanted to predict is what is the best destination right now based on 1 month data. My hypothesis over here is what best destination I want to do based on 1 month data. That's the hypothesis that I have created, right? And hypothesis is incomplete without answering it. The answer is very simple. It could be a city, it could be a hotel, it could be anything else. We chose city, right? Then based on that, we were able to identify what kind of inputs are there, what kind of relations are there, and what kind of outputs are there. Like input could be page view, input could be your number of time it has been availed, things like that. It could be add to cart also. Like in Amazon, you have wish list, things like that. That's the preparation of data. Then is running data. How do you test your data if it is working well or not? I'll show you one of the examples. I think I stopped sharing. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible. So I have written down little bit about in the notes section, what is test, what is train. So test and train is a method to, measure your data accurately, right? It is called test and train because you split the data in two, in training and in testing. So what do you mean? I have all the data point with me, but I will run 80% of my data, like my modeling on it. And then I'll see for the rest 20%, I'll run that analysis on those trained data and identify if whatever modeling I have done is actually giving me result. So the trained data should be of accuracy of 90% or so. Or even in some cases like machine learning, your test data or your trained data should give you efficiency of 70% also, depending upon your business cases. Right now you have all these things you are running on the real time basis, but comparing the result is also important. How do you do that? Physically, when your customer actually visit your destination, the amount of money that you are collecting, the amount of users that are actually visiting there, you will have that data as well, right? You will have number of people that are staying there, you will have number of rooms that were booked. Now you compare your data and then run it. But this is just your already data that you have. You are just replicating it again and again. That's not the best part of data analysis. That's just representation of data. But what best part of data analytics is how do you do things like these? How do you do predictive analysis? I'm on the right side of my advanced. How do you do predictive analysis? How do you do forecast? How do you do what if analysis? Like what kind of forecasting that you can do through these data sets, right? You identify this is the popular destination. Can it be forecasted? Can I tell you next month which one would be the best destination so that my offers can match up, right? So what you are trying to do is you are trying to give offers on a particular suite, right? You are giving it on a particular suite. There could be Maharaja suite, there could be some other suites, right? You are trying to give this based on that maximum number of people would give you avail this offers. Urban getaways, there are certain things like weekend getaways, there are like urban getaways, there are like honeymoon destinations. What kind of offers can you run? These are the kind of challenges that comes up, and I can tell you these offers are also based on forecasting. This I did not do. There is a data science team that did that, but this is something that I did. This is where I just read the old data and tried to replicate it to get to tell them that this is the live data that you have and this is the best destination you have. But these kind of things, this carousel, offers and promotion is based on, absolutely based on forecast. I'll pause here, take up questions. I hope software as data analytics was cleared. If not, please elaborate more about your questions. I hope I was able to answer it. I'll pause for 10 seconds, 15 seconds to take up any questions. I hope information overload is not there. I'm making sense. How do you use the data points? And I'll then move on to a bit that is little bit like which would make more sense at your level to give you more understanding. What is the next thing that you can do? We were talking about here, and next thing that you as a BTech student, as an MBA student, especially as an MBA student, you need to know, right? A lot of time what happens is we join company like, let's say even a company like Wipro, your TCS, Infosys. You go there as a software engineer, you feel like I'll be doing a lot of coding and all. No, a lot of this you need to know. How do you apply VLOOKUP? How do you apply the basic? You need to know this. Maybe you need not know the right part, the advanced part, basic part. Please go through it. Please go through. There are so many videos on YouTube. You just do VLOOKUP, text to column, data validation. Please take a screenshot of you, everyone. Please take a screenshot, paste it in your anywhere that you feel like on a PPT. Please take a screenshot, paste it there, and then go through YouTube and YouTube all these points. YouTube VLOOKUP, if you do not know, HLOOKUP, pivot, index match, data validation. This is like a drop down data validation. Then you need to know about charts. You need to know about what is bar chart, what kind of representation that you can do on bar chart. This is the very simple bit that you have to start with. What is pie chart, scatter chart? I'll tell you all these things. Like I have example of all these charts. I'll go through them. Infographics is new. This is bit which big force like KPMG, everyone will take you if you know this. If you know Google Data Studio, Power BI, Click, Tableau, they will hire you in one second. Like if you put it on your LinkedIn, you know Tableau, you'll have so many job offers. I'm telling you. Advance, this is basically you, even though you know it, but applying it is a lot of headache. Applying it, because you will not have a data set that you want to know. Once you start working, you will be there where you would have a lot of data set. You will know the business cases. Once you start working, all these business cases will come in. So these kind of things you can definitely Google around, YouTube it, Excel pay, everything is available. Then Python and R are the one things that are so popular. You should know about their libraries, right? How machine learning works. SQL, a lot of these are covered in BTech, but we do not give a lot of attention to it. If you want to be a guy who wants to be into data analytics, SQL is there. Big data, I don't want to touch more about it. There would be so many things about it. It's basically volume of data, velocity is there, volume is there, then there's velocity. These kind of things are associated with big data. You should know the 3 V's so that in any case, if let's say in an interview, someone calls upon, this is something that you do. Business automation, I work closely with it. I do a lot of business automation where if I want to create a PPT day in, day out, I work with so many clients. I need to present their usage, like what kind of things. Like I'll tell you a little bit of background. What is Gartner? Gartner is basically, you are a company, you will not Google something that as a business problem that you have. So business challenges, Gartner is there where you try to understand how do my procure to pay would work, what kind of branding should I do, what kind of clients should I look at. So these kind of things is available. It's like a Yelp sort of a thing or a Quora sort of a thing. So what I do is I do a lot of business automation where I understand I need to create PPTs for every client that is there for Gartner. How do I do that? How do I do, like, what kind of usage that they have month on month? Business automation comes in. I do using VBA on Excel. Once you are there in business, you will have all this understanding. Please just one note, please do YouTube each every point of these. And I was speaking about the charts. I'll show you one of the charts or few of the charts that I just keeping record of the time. We have like 5 minutes, and then I'll take 5 minutes for your Q&As. Like these charts, okay, this is like bar chart. This is an example how HPE, your HPE, you'll know about it. Your laptop, it creates your HP makes laptop. So what is the liquidity of HPE with respect to their peers? What are their closest competitors, and what is their data points? This is how you represent data. This all data points are telling you same story: liquidity, operational efficiency, profitabilities. You can see HPE is below everyone, right? And this is like bar charts. I'll just highlight. This is bar chart. This is scatter chart, right? Scatter chart, web chart. Like, what is it telling you? It is telling me best practice for, these are the kind of metrics that they look at. I can tell you simple metrics: ROA, return on asset. The best practice of return on asset is over here, right? You are at 28%. The green line is 28%. Your peers have taken these red ones: Dell, Cisco, IBM, NetApp. These are your peers. In terms of ROA, they are so much ahead, right? This data could be represented in this form also, right? That in the bar chart also. But look how beautiful this is looking. 3 charts over here versus 6 charts combined. How beautiful it is looking versus this 6. You will have to look at it closely to understand this data point. But look, same data is represented in this way. Same data is represented in this way, where what I have done is, SGN is basically cost, sales is basically how much you are selling. At low cost, you want to do high sales. Cost is low, sales is high, hence the green quadrant. Cost is high, sales are low, hence the red quadrant. Dell doing very bad. HP could do better at the same cost, just improve your sales. This is the power of data that you have. Quickly, I'll go through different charts. This is like how your cloud is basically divided into various parts. It could be PaaS, SaaS, etc. If you want to learn more about it, you can Google around. But this data, this is actually telling you year-on-year growth of each of these component of cloud. Now just take a look at it, memorize it for, I'll give 3 seconds, just 1, 2, 3, memorize it. Same data is represented in this graph. Can you imagine? Same data point, 19, 20 to 25, same data is represented in this way. Can anyone tell me how do you, like, technically, how do you come from this data point to this data point? Any one of you know how do you get to this data point to that data point? It's the same data. I'll show you quickly. What we have done is we just have changed axis. 2019-20, these axes are being interchanged by the legends. Okay, I'll tell you, these are legends, like 41%, these are legends. How do you do it? Very simple. You just go to edit data, it's very simple. What you need to do is just represent this 19 to 24 in this above, like as a column, and this as a row. That's it. That's the whole bit. Only you need to do that. I'll show you again, like this data, it's on left hand side, and then this is represented on the right hand side. That's it. Easy, just easy representation of data, nothing else. And see what insights that you can gather from here is how your PaaS will grow versus how your cloud will grow. That's the difference between that. The last chart is bubble chart. This and this is same. You will tell me what are you kidding me? This chart and this chart is same. This chart and this particular chart and this bubble chart is same data. It is telling me about a growth of this. It is telling me, like, if I talk about PaaS in 2019, it was 41%. So if I look at PaaS, the circle would, it is close to the broader it is, the more area it is covering. So you can see in the chart here, SaaS, this is the second legend that we have. SaaS, you can see as compared to other bars, it is, it's longer, right? So similarly, SaaS over here in this radius wide, it is broader, right? And the growth from 19 to 20, what was the growth like? Same thing, they are representing over here. So representation of graph, you should know it. If you know it, you will be able to clear your interviews. Like no one is going to stop you. If you know these things, you can definitely write in your CVs, and you would be able to crack any interviews. Just last bit that I want to tell you, be thorough with your CV. Do not mention anything. Just because you saw these graphs, you can't write, I'm expert in charts in PowerPoint or in Excel, right? You need to practice it, right? If you are an experienced professional, you should mention the projects you have taken, not even experienced one. If you are a fresher, you have done some projects in your, right, in your undergrad or in your postgrad, but just make it in a 3-step. You should tell them what was the ask or why we were doing it, what kind of implementation that we did. Let's say we are doing sort of just as simple as calendaring, right? I just made a calendar on Java. Why did you want to make a calendar? Because I wanted to book my schedule, right? How do you do it? You tell them how do you do it. What was the result? Result was time saving and visibility of my day, of my schedule. This is how you do it. Ask is basically very business oriented. This implementation is very technical. Result should always be in terms of cost saving, in terms of time saving, in terms of accelerating your project. That's the 3 things you should mention. If you want me to repeat, I'll repeat again. It should always be time saving, cost saving, acceleration of your project. This is the 3 things. If you write it in your CV that the task was this, implementation was this, result was this. Don't mention just time saving. Write time saving by 2 weeks, by 1 month, sort of a thing. Just don't write time saving. Freshers should mention the tools and skills. If you are going to mention all these things in your CV, like I know pivot, VLOOKUP, that's enough. If you mention I know Power BI, that's enough. That's enough. That's the all thing that they are going to look at. Anything that you have acquired, anything that you have done, and you are confident enough to speak about it. The next thing, practice guesstimates. Guesstimates would be like how many flights take off from Delhi airport in one day, how many iPhones are sold in one day. These are the guesstimates. These are very special for business analytics, for data analytics job. Be thorough with them. Guesstimates will make or break your business case. And any company, Big Four, Gartner, McKinsey, Deloitte, everyone asks your guesstimates. Be very confident. Always engage with interviewer. Ask them question. And if they ask you question, you do not know it, please don't be shy to accept it. You don't know the answer rather than failed attempt. Make an attempt. Ask them questions. If you are not able to verbally tell them, please stop. You will make mess of yourself if you try to answer it if you don't know. Any questions? I just want to keep this forum open for next 5-10 minutes to get your questions. Maybe unmute yourself, write it in there. If you want to repeat anything from any of the slides, please do tell me. All the slides are open here. Any feedback for me? How was the session? Did you like it? Any information that you think was relevant?
So hi, Kshitij.
Yeah.
So I have joined late because I was having a different session with a professor. So I have learned your slide from number 10, and I got that pictures of graph. So that I have come across this very first time. So I found it very good. So just I want to put that point. So
right.
Yeah,
you should, if you are playing with data, like you should play around, get any data. There are so many sources. Just Google forecast of our industry, forecast of security industry, forecast of hardware industries. I gave you example of Dell. Just do data of Dell. You'll get so many examples. Just represent it. Keep it in this. Like what I do is, I have kept it in index. What I do is, during my interviews, I tell them, sir, I have a use case. Can I tell you? So I show them these slides during my interview. Sir, this is how I know about data representation. They also get amazed that, one data could be represented in 3 forms. Okay. So just go through it. Okay. What should we actually include in resume? Great question. Things to be included. Okay, I'll quickly show my resume. So I'll just draw a screen share. Why is it not popping up? Give me 1 second. भैया आपने बहुत पढ़ाया से. Thank you. I have to find my resume right. Quickly, I'll just tell you. Thank you, wallpaper. I'll tell you quickly about it. First of all, just write quickly about the objective. What is the objective? You should write about that, you are experienced in these domains. These are the key skills, right? I told you that these are the type of things that you should mention, various tools and skills. Please do mention it. They love it. These are the projects that I have done, right? Projects that I have taken. What are my achievements? I received these 3-4 awards. These are the internship that I have done. Little bit about internship. For example, three things that I always do: ask, implementation, result. So worked with digital initiative team with this, and then did these things. Like I told you about product recommendation engine, I told you about the Taj, right? I do mention it in my tools. Then something like your academics, how do you represent academics, your results, then extracurricular activities. I don't know why it is not loading, but a little bit about your extracurricular activities. That's pretty much it. If I could tell you, you should mention, like, as a experienced stakeholder, you should mention your projects, mention your tools, mention your academics, extracurricular, and then any achievement.
Excuse me, भैया.
Yep. Yes.
भैया CV नहीं दिख रहा.
Yeah, I've just closed it. So I just wanted to tell you, you should mention your projects. I mentioned it over here. You should mention your projects or any college level projects, any skills that you have. You should do academics. What was the percentage in 10th, 12th and your college? Any extracurricular activities that you have, anything achievement that you have. If you can make anything, for example, you want to apply for data and analytics, you want to apply for visualization. What you do is you represent these graphs, you represent whatever work that you have done as screenshot and paste it at Google Studio. Google Studio free of cost hota hai. Just go through it, paste it there in the CV itself. Mark that you can create a web URL. Paste that web URL in your CV. People will get impressed so much. I do that a lot of time. I just upload my project online and give that link to the interviewer. You can look at it, and then from there you can see what kind of skills that I have. It's not a one-day task. It's definitely not a one-day task, but you need to spend a lot of time on this. Great, amazing. I'll just stop my screen sharing, and then if you have any questions, I am here for next 5 minutes. Do let me know any questions that you have.
Guys, if you have any question, you can go ahead.
On which platform? I use Google Data Studio, or there are so many free web. There's this website which is free of cost. I can't remember the name, but there are so many websites that allows you to post your make your free pages. I'll tell you simple things. HTML बचपन में सबने करा है. You can make it on HTML. If you have that willing, like you want to be a front end developer. I was like, I worked with a lot of front end developers. So I'll tell you one of the examples. The way you see, like on the Taj website, you were seeing the front end only, but the functionality happened at the back end. I was a back end developer, but the thing how you represent is done by front end developer. I was so fascinated. I started using this visualization. It was inspirational for me to see front end developers. So all these front-end developers must know about HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Learn about it if you are willing to get in there. All your Infosys, TCS people are like, I'll tell you one example. If you are BTech student, you would want to get into either into SAP or into front-end developer. If you are an MBA, you want to get into either into FMCGs or your investment banking. But honestly, these are the toughest industries to get in. The best industry right now to get in is consulting. Money is great. The work is amazing. You learn a lot. These kind of data analytics, the interview is very easy to crack. You should know about your guesstimates. You should know about your little bit about your Excels, and it is very easy to learn. If you are great in maths, you will crack it. Even though if you are not great in maths, still you will crack it. Just you need to practice. Any other questions? I'll share my LinkedIn ID quickly. Please do, if you like this session, do give me recommendation on LinkedIn. I would love to listen from you. And do join me if you have any questions. Generally, I'm not available on weekends, but definitely I'll ping you on if you have any questions on LinkedIn. I'll definitely accept your request and then answer all your queries. Awesome. I'll share templates, not my resume. I don't want you to copy me. I have so many templates. When you do MBA, you have so many templates. Or if you want, you can just Google around MBA templates, but I'll definitely share. I have a lot of them. I'll share.
Thank you so much, sir. If there are no further questions, like No, does anyone has any other question? Okay, so thank you so much, sir, for coming and guiding the students. It was immensely an insightful session. Thank you for taking out the time from your busy schedule and take this informative session for the students. I'm sure it will be of great help to them. And also thank you everyone. We appreciate you being here. Thank you, genuinely thank you so much, sir, for taking out the session and helping these students.
This is great. And just last thing, if you like this session, please do give me recommendation on LinkedIn. It's very easy to do. So yeah, pretty much it. And thank you, Anisha, for coordinating this. I'm sure that a lot of effort goes into. Thank you everyone for your such a wonderful question.
It was our pleasure, sir.
Yeah. If I could do V2 of this, I'll definitely do a advanced version of this session only, and I hope everyone joins.
Sure, sir. And there's a small announcement for the students. We conduct such webinars every weekend. I'm sharing the link of the WhatsApp group for the same in the chat box. Interested students can join the group through the link and stay updated for the upcoming events. And thank you once again, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you once again, sir. We'll keep in touch with you over LinkedIn. Thank you for this session, sir.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye, sir.